Welcome to Two Ordinary Nerds, a podcast where we talk about ordinary things. How you doing?
I'm as good as you.
I'm extreme.
How you been?
Oh, just there's a lot of things that have been going on.
Yeah, like what?
Well, there's some shows, there's some news, more shows,
Couple movies.
couple movies.
Yeah.
The things to come.
Ooh. So what you drink? Where are we drinking today?
Oh, by the way, I'm Lou. This is Daniel.
Welcome to Ordinary Nerds, where two ordinary nerds talk about ordinary things.
I'm drinking a Flying Monkey Beer Amber Ale.
It's from Weston, Missouri. It's a small little Irish town.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, I mean it's production-wise, it looks kind of cheap, but
Yeah.
flavor.
Yeah, the can definitely looks like
it's
cheap.
basically like a basic can with a sticker on it.
Yeah.
But hey,
It's not bad beer. It's not horrible. So, what are we going to talk about today?
I think we're going to talk about, it's going to be our Halloween special. Ooh.
It's a little late, but who cares?
Yeah, we're going to talk about Stranger Things. That's to you. And
C in
The
Spanish.
Walking Dead, the first 3 episodes.
We're going to predict who we think's going to die, because, obviously,
A couple zombies, that's my prediction.
Yeah. Walkers are going to die. Well, I have the next one, so you get to sign us into this episode.
All right, well, let's do like we're not a writer. I'm right into the episode.
Right into the episode?
Yeah, writer. I don't know.
Oh, Winona Ryder, right into the... Okay.
That was pretty bad.
Lewis, cut this out. It's our... We'll just go with it.
Just done.
No.
Keep it.
Just keep it. Fuck it. Alright. And... And we're back. We're back here on Two Ordinary Nerds. I'm here with my sidekick, Daniel.
I want to know what do people think about our intro. Send us post it on Facebook,
Yeah.
Post it on our Instagram, post it in somewhere. Let us know.
Blow the cobwebs off your Podbean account and listen to this podcast and let us know what you think about our intro. Should we change it up?
So let's start with Easy Peasy Lemon Squeezy and Stranger Things. I loved it.
I fucking hated it.
You did?
No, I loved it too. Especially because Sean Astin was in it, so I just felt like they were playing into my Goonies needs. Like it was Goonies and Stranger Things. It was like a crossover, but not really.
Okay. Yeah, Sean Astin did a really good job. He was really believable as hell. He was basically like a stepdad for the two brothers.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was Noah Eshkap as the younger brother actor, and who's the older?
Will's brother
Yeah,
and Will.
And Will. Although Will brother's kind of forgettable. I kind of forget about his plot overall in this season.
Yeah, because Steve's way cooler.
Yeah.
I like Steve, and this brother, I think he just is there to tie into the Mike's sister so they can have a relationship, which makes...
That subplot
was kind of odd.
Yeah. It's kind of like, you see it, but you're not really emotionally connected to it.
Yeah, I like Steve. That dude's sick.
Mm-hmm.
I like how he's just full swing, didn't give a shit. So, what's the... give us a short synopsis about what the overall show's this season's about.
So, it comes back like a year later. 363 days, I think, or later.
Mm-hmm.
And you can see the kids, trying to go back to normal and pretending like nothing happened because they have to, because the government said so. And it starts there, and Will starts having almost like
Seizures.
It seems at the beginning it looks like they're like flashbacks.
Mm-hmm.
But then we realize that now flashback, he's almost being able to see the future. He has, in D&D terms, true sight. And
hashtag nerd alert. Wap, wap, wap. Sorry, I had to the radio DJ thing we had to throw in there. Yeah,
that's what I think. So then there's the big monster reveal, which
the shadow monster.
The shadow monster. It almost looks like a massive, but it's more like a big cloud that takes form of it. And the town starts noticing the effects because they can't contain the upside down. They didn't close it correctly in the first season, so it's slowly leaking through. Then basically, you're realizing that the monster is trying to go to our world, and the kids are trying to figure out if it's what's going on. They're still having this, and they're still trying to figure out their normal lives. At the same time, you realize that 11 got out pretty quickly.
Yep.
And she's been hiding.
She was rebirthed.
Mm-hmm. She's been hiding all this time. Her story, her subplot basically is finding her mom.
Yep.
And she basically has no contact with the kids until the last episode, or the last 2 episodes?
Last 2 episodes.
But she finds out that she has a sister-ish. Who's another girl who has powers. She has the ability to make people see whatever she wants to see.
She, basically manipulates their mind, kind of like what, Professor X can do.
Mm-hmm. So that's something she can do. But that's pretty much the overall, the monster basically infiltrates and gets into Will, and that's how and then he basically can see through Will and know all the information just through Will. So
and he acts like Will, so then they don't realize he's possessed until Mike realizes that he's the spy, and they're spying and trying to figure out where they're at, so then they could come take possession of Mike so the shadow monster could come out.
And the shadow monster is basically only weaknesses is heat, it seems like.
Yeah. Or was it light? No,
it's heat because the light also they don't like light, but heat is the thing that hurts them.
Mm-hmm.
And something fun also in the show is there is many demogorgs that they get as a pet, and he starts growing bigger and bigger and starts behaving evil.
You heard it first here. It's not really a good guy. He's like half and half. He's like an anti-hero because he's still.
It's like a wild. It's like almost compared to a wolf.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Like a wolf. He's still wild, but at the end of the day, he still cares about the kids.
Dustin. So yeah, Dustin finds the Demogorgon. But he doesn't realize it. He just thinks it's like a little tadpole that has, legs or whatever. Before frog form. And so he tries to be friends with it. Well, then the Demogorgon eats the cat, the family cat. Then the Demogorgon becomes huge and he has to keep it in his storm cellar. And so then it decides to go... It escapes. That's right.
It escapes, but then you realize there's more than one. Mm-hmm. There's a whole bunch, and the big monster controls them, basically.
The shadow monster.
But that's basically the premise of the story. They eventually are able to defeat the big monster. 11 comes in, saves the day. 11
closes the door, if you will.
Yeah, but by the end of the show, you can see the Demogorgon. I don't know what the name is. The big monster still lurking and trying to get in. So you know there's going to be a third, and I think they said it's going to be the final season.
No, there's 4.
It's
seasons? Either 4 or 5. They don't know yet, but this is either going to be the second to last season, or it's going to be then there's going to be 2 more after it. So, but I'm sure I would say they're probably going to go 5. I mean, as popular as the show is.
So what the things? Let's start with what things you did not like.
I would agree with you. I feel like Will's brothers. you could tell that his plot doesn't really matter because we don't even remember his name.
Yeah, you don't remember his name, and I feel like it was a way to get the writers to still keep him,
yeah,
and to show how the family is still progressing.
Yep. What else? I do like Sean Astin sacrificed himself.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was kind of neat.
That was fun. Something that, like, I feel like the subplot of 11 wasn't that great.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the subplot of 11 became great right at the end.
It's like she aged up really quick. Like, she was just this child at the beginning of the season, and then by the end she's either a teenager or she's like a young adult. Like, she was just acting in a way.
I think that's how kids. Isn't that what kids do? Like, isn't that like what people say? Like, when you see them as kids and all of a sudden they're teenagers, and you're like, what the fuck happened?
Yeah, but not so quickly. Not in this.
I think that's how it feels. Like, you have to think like they're still growing, and and the only way to do it is like, I think they did it. I think they're trying. My portrayal of that was how, like, oh wow, they're teenagers now, because they're right in middle school, isn't it?
Yep.
So.
Well, yeah, they're in middle school. Next year they'll be in high school. I only know that because of Nerdist podcast.
Like, I'm not the biggest. I wasn't the biggest fan of the subplot until the end, until it all basically wraps up. Pretty nice bow, but at the same time, I was like,
I love the 11 episode where she goes and meets the renegades or whatever, with her sister. I think that's really cool. Just the story itself was interesting. It was interesting to see go into a different situation that's not in this podunk town. And we get to see her go to a big city. She doesn't really know how to interact, and yeah, it was really cool.
Yeah, that was a nice episode. It was too X-Men for me a little bit.
Yeah, it was definitely X-Men.
But I think it's they take their source material pretty well. That's one of the things I love about this show. It's all the little references, like the Goonies, how.
Well, yeah, and then like the end part of the episode is like the typical 80s prom. That was such a goddamn good ending to the show. I was just sitting there like, oh my god, this is perfect.
It was a really good ending. I really like Mad Max.
Yeah. I like
the brother.
The brother's kind of an idiot. I don't like him.
I agree with him that he's an idiot. You don't like him, but I think that's what you're supposed to do.
I'm empathetic because him getting abused by his asshole dad. But I don't know.
He portrayed the bully pretty well.
I just really, I did not like his character. Do you know that guy's the guy who plays the Red Ranger in the new Power Rangers? Mm-hmm. But yeah, I like Mad Max. She was really cool. That was an interesting way to bring in a new character, and really like how the way they brought her in was through the arcade. It just I don't know. It felt grounded.
It did. It felt like a normal thing. How the beginning it's awkward and that love triangle interest came along.
Yeah,
but it was overall. It's a solid show. It's a show that it's easy to binge watch. And it's not because they give you like a cliffhanger in every episode. It's more of like it's a coherent story.
Yeah,
all the way through.
It flows well. Mm-hmm. And it's just enjoyable to watch. I mean,
the special effects were pretty good too.
Yeah, they had a lot more special CGI in this one. But it's still, even for a Netflix show, it's really good.
Are you worried that the kids are going to grow too quickly?
No, I mean, that's why they're going to high school next year. So if they go into high school, then they don't have to worry about them growing too fast.
Mm-hmm. I was something curious about the show is hearing 11 talking her normal British accent. It's like hearing like the Rick talking to his regular. It bothers me.
Yeah, it's weird.
I'm
not used to it.
No, but I guess the there's been some criticism over the kids being over sexualized by the media. Have you heard that? Or 11 being like she's doing like all these magazines, and they're like, she's a little girl, and they're like, putting makeup, and dresses and stuff like that. And I guess I'm not sure which of the 3 kids, but I think it's Will or his best friend. What's his
Mike?
Mike. It's one of those 2 where a model was like, "Hey, in 4 years, call me." Like this 32-year-old model said that to this 14-year-old kid.
Wow.
So I guess they're like, there's some sort of tension there. Not that the kids did anything wrong. It's more that the outside world. So now with all these allegations coming out of sexual, it's in the front, in the foreplace, just with, how bad it is that even these kids are suffering the consequences.
Yeah, it's ridiculous that they shouldn't worry or introduce. Let them just be kids.
Yeah, because I was curious and I looked a few of those little things, and I can agree in some of those pictures.
Well, yeah,
it was like
Millie looks like they're dressing her up as like she's an older person. I'm like, dude, they're 14 years old. Like,
I know.
Yeah.
So it's that's one of the negative things about, I guess, fame, that But I mean, I remember when I was 14 and acting and trying to dress older to be cool.
Yeah.
So I don't blame the kids for doing it at all. I don't even blame the parents either.
Yeah.
It's just how it is. Like when Vogue magazine. I'm not sure if it's Vogue or not. So if it's Vogue magazine calls you and
yeah. Overall though, I think that the was a flawless season. I thought it was really.
I wouldn't go flawless, but I will go to good.
It was as good as the first.
Good. I like the first one. Maybe it has a special meaning in my heart, the first one, because I wasn't expecting anything, and it was just shocking. Now the bar was already shocking, so I don't think the subplots were as strong as in season 1.
Yeah, I would say I would disagree. I would say I thought it was. There were some weaknesses, but the first season had weaknesses too, like Barb's bullshit that everyone's attached to.
I like that subplot. That makes sense. One of the girls died. Her best friend is worried. They're looking for her. This one, they're just like, we need a subplot for...
Which they keep bringing Barb back.
But yeah, but I mean, I understand the parents bringing them back, and I wish they kept it there, where the kids were like trying to sabotage the research so they couldn't figure it out.
Oh.
That would make more sense to me than being like, oh, we're kids and we're going to do this. We are super smart and do this super great investigation where the government is on top of you in 2 seconds. I wish they were like, trying to be like, oh, you need to know, or going to the guy and sabotaging his, so that he couldn't get information, so the parents will be safe. And maybe at the end, I don't know, I just did not like, it's not that I didn't like it. It's just, I think the subplots didn't make as much sense as the first season. But I would still give it a good 4 beers. Like, I mean, it's a really good show. It's like the other season 1, I'd give it 4.8 beers.
I'd give them both 4.5. I thought they were about the same. Because I went into it and it still surprised me. Like 11's backstory, I didn't think that
I assume that there's gonna be more people with powers.
I assumed that, but the way they did it was really good, and I really enjoyed learning about the mom and how 11 would go into her brain and
see the past.
Yeah, or go talk to her mom, and I thought that was really cool.
It was very interesting.
Well,
but then let's jump in now to Walking Dead.
Yep.
And so, I'll let you tell the story of Walking Dead.
Well, now we're into All Out War. So, this takes place, I would say, like a month after what happened at the end of last season, where the Saviors kind of attacked Alexandria.
They did attack Alexandria.
Yeah, well, they did, but...
It wasn't full on.
Yeah, it wasn't full on, like, what's to come. But yeah, so this takes place after, and it's Rick's planning with the Hilltop the kingdom, and then of course all the Alexandria people. And so this dives into the plot of them going to where what is it called? Where Negan's at, the Savior place. So I can't think of what it's fucking called.
What Negan's Fortress?
Yeah, Negan's Fortress. And so what they do is they get a bunch of cars with metal on them, and they go there. In the comics, what they do is they actually go there and they shoot at the Saviors. They fight back and forth. But in this show, they were there as a distraction until the walkers came in, and then they blew up the front entrance of the Savior compound, and thus the walkers go in, and that's where they left us with Negan and Gabriel, because Gabriel gets left behind. So now we're in the process of, our team, all of our teams going and getting the different compounds of the Saviors, because it's not just Sanctuary. It's not just the Sanctuary, it's all the other compounds that Negan has. So they're in the process of going through and wiping all those out, and that's where we're at. Of course, there's a lot of other conflict.
So we all know that we love it. So that's gonna be more like I think this episode should be more of a discussion of more than what we like and we didn't like, what we did in Stranger Things a minute ago. Do you think we're gonna get more backstory to Negan?
Oh yeah, definitely. I think Kirkman has already said that they were going to do a Negan episode where it's just a backstory about him.
And with his wife dying of cancer. And
yeah. And what I think also, first and foremost, I have to say that the difference in the show versus the comics is
the show is colored in the comics in black and white.
Yeah. No, I really like the Morgan, because Morgan's not in that part of the comic. He's already dead.
Fight with Morgan Jesus.
Morgan and Jesus, and Morgan fighting with himself. He's like, his crazy self is back. So he says, I have to kill these people. But then he goes back to being the good guy, and he alternates. But he is being realistic because of what happened with the wolves. He's like, it doesn't matter, you can keep all these people, they're just gonna come fucking attack us again, we should just kill them. Which, when Jesus says we have to live with these people...
Have you noticed, going there, have you noticed that Alexandria people, except Rick, seems, are fine and dandy and executing people left and right, and the rest are trying to be more calm? Because if you
not everybody's executing people. You're just thinking about Daryl and what's her face
and
Morgan. But Morgan's not part of that group. Morgan's part of the kingdom now.
Well,
Daryl's,
but you see it.
The end of the episode last time, where the guy's like, "Okay, can I go?" And Daryl's just like, "Shot." I'm like, hot, ruthless.
I was sitting in the couch and I was like, if he shows up, they're gonna get the information and shoot him. Mm-hmm. But Rick is calming down. It seems.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to see crazy eye Rick.
I don't think Rick's gonna go crazy. I think Rage Rick is over.
I guess it makes more sense for war to keep your head straight. Mm-hmm. But
we saw kind of crazy Rick when he was fighting that dude, and instead of beating him, and he just went ahead and killed him, and then he found out that guy had a kid.
That's how you took it? You took it like that's the guy's kid?
Yeah. I took it like...
That's why he was so defensive of it.
I took it like the Saviors had like a little nursery there.
No, because if they had a nursery, there would have been more. I think that was his kid, and that's why he was defending him. That's why when he's getting choked out, Rick's like, "Where's the guns at?" And he's like, "No guns." And that's why he was... God damn it. That's why he was trying to defend his child, and then that's why Rick was so upset after he killed that guy. He found out, oh man, this dude was just protecting, and he realized, oh fuck, that's what I would be doing too for my kid, like if it was Judith or
somebody else's kid too.
So
Judith.
I like how they manipulate you into thinking that everyone's gonna make it out of this fine, and at the end of last episode, someone with a 50 cal just mows down. I'm pretty sure that Jerry dude was the one that jumped on Ezekiel, and he's the one who got shot. I think he's dead. I think he's going to get it. And I'm interested to see, the biggest factors in the season that you don't know about, the gray area would be Carol and Morgan, because they're not in the comic. So they're huge characters that have been there since season 1, so, are they going to die? For me, I would think...
I think Morgan seems in the way to die.
I think Morgan's going to get it. And I don't think... Carol...
I don't think she's going to get it. I think Carol's going to be the new number 2 for King Ezekiel.
I hope this whole season is all-out war. I don't want them to do, go until season, mid-season finale and then it's done, because there's just a lot of shit that they could use for all-out war and they can make it work. And I hope
full season of all-out war?
That's what I'd want. I don't want them to do time jump in the second half of the season. That just is...
No, I think it's going to be... And then mid-season finale is going to be... I think 2 or 3 episodes after the mid-season finale. And then... end the season with Rick going to see somebody and seeing his face and then shut down. So basically, what I would like to see is end of this mid-season, some sort of battle, and you can more or less tell that it's going against Rick. And then Rick in the next 3 or 4 episodes after the mid-season defeats him. A time jump of an episode of a time jump. Somebody Whispers attack.
No, they're not going to jump that far.
Or something happens, and then in the last episode of the last season, you see Rick going downstairs to talk to Negan in the cell.
No, they'll save that for next season, because there's a lot of plot in between then that they have to get through to get to where the Whispers are. It's not just like that, because they go to time jumps. Michonne is they go in Fish, and so she's bringing back Fish or whatever. Of course, this is different now because she's basically being Andrea. But, and then they have a huge festival, and then after the festival, Gregory tries to turn on Maggie. Maggie hangs Gregory, and then they have another festival or another gathering, and then Dwight becomes the
Saviors,
the leader of the Saviors, and he doesn't want to be the leader of the Saviors. And then when they have the festival, people get kidnapped, and then Rick goes and finds, right during the festivals when you start seeing the Whispers.
Well, yeah, but that's gonna be an episode.
I don't think that's gonna happen.
They're not gonna do.
They would be way too rushing it if they did that. There's a lot of
filler.
Well, yeah, but
that's comic book filler. Comic book filler does not do well.
Yeah, but they're not looking at it the way you look at shows. You want shows to be a middle and beginning and end. They already said, even at the 100th Talking Dead, the 100th episode Talking Dead, they said they're going to keep this machine running as long as possible.
I think that's what I want to say, but I mean, that implies it's going to be a shitty ending of a show.
Well,
it's going to be when ratings are not good, you're going to get I like beginning, middle, and end. That gives me a good story. It gives me something I can rewatch in the past. I don't want to be let's put it it's Grey's Anatomy.
Well, that show's terrible anyways.
Oh yeah, but what happened with Grey's Anatomy is it's just going to die itself. Characters are just going to get killed. Rick is going to be, I don't want to do this anymore. Killed. Carl, killed. Michonne killed because they're going to get
But they're not going to... You're wanting them to rush into another big plot point right now, which they are...
No, I'm just saying, yes, that's... What's going to be next season?
Next season would be, I could see... The first half would be, the Negan...
Celebrating?
The flash forward where they have the festival, and then shit, people start turning on Rick because they're like, they want other shit to happen, and then that's when Rick starts confiding in Negan, and then Negan.
Yeah, but that's.
There's a lot of shit that happens.
You can still with my way. You can still do it. You finish with Negan with the Whispers. Next episode, you can do the first episode can be everything churning. The second episode can be where you catch up when the people are missing and Rick has to go there. Episode 3, it's the start of, hey, let's go and check it out. And they finish with the head stakes. Then episode 4 can be... And then you basically end up the mid-season finale of next year with the Whisperers showing up. And you're like, holy shit, and I get to wait and go on. But you cannot have 4 episodes of Walking Dead of
That's what the whole last season was about, basically. I mean, the last season was the
last
slowest season.
Yeah, and look at the criticism. People are like, what the fuck?
Because people weren't going along with the story. They want action.
Yeah, and you really think that for a whole entire mid-season of parades and Michonne going fishing is going to make it even better?
No, but making it worse would be rushing this story arc because it's the biggest story arc of the comic book. Well, the Whisperers is nothing in comparison compared to Negan.
You still have a full season.
They should just do this whole season as All Out War. There's so much shit that they can do because in the comic they don't describe Negan's backstory. That's a whole episode. There's a bunch of other bullshit that they can add in there.
So how are you gonna finish the season?
How am I gonna finish it?
Well, how are you gonna finish the mid-season? Where will you put the mid-season?
Well, I don't want to say because I know how it ends. I can't.
We know how we know how it ends. The saviors lose.
No, I'm saying I know how the mid-season finale ends.
What's your theory?
Saviors surprisingly attack Alexandria, and Rick and everyone's not there, but Michonne and Carl are after they left them, and so they get attacked, and I'm pretty sure Carl's gonna get fucking killed.
Not in the comics. He's gonna.
Carl's not going anywhere.
It has a major point
in the comics.
I think. I agree with you, that could be a good half, but Carl's boo-boo girlfriend gets killed.
My biggest...
And that will create some tension with Carl, Negan, and Rick.
Yeah, but Carl wouldn't know because she's all the way in the hilltop and he's in Alexandria.
But she can come. I think that will be how it's gonna end.
What I think... The biggest reason why is because right now we're in the beginning part of the comic. I mean, it feels like it's all Out War is almost over, but Negan hasn't even touched his shit yet. I mean, this dude's gonna fuck them up. I mean, they think that they're doing really good, but Negan that's rapes
Rick's plans. Rick's plans have been horrible.
Yeah, I mean, they're not the best. But yeah, I mean, there's a part where Negan... One of my favorite parts is when, I think this is what'll happen in the mid-season finale or a little bit before, but Negan they don't really storm into Alexandria yet, but they go and they just lob over a shit ton of explosives and destroys Alexandria, just catches it on fire.
The walls.
And the hilltop gets attacked also. And then they have another fight where they go out and attack, and then that's when Negan fucks them up, and Shiva gets killed. Basically, Ezekiel runs away, and they all meet back up, I think at the hilltop or something, and then that's when Dwight comes through, and they have one last... It looks like there's going to be a huge battle, and Negan comes to the front gates, and then Rick's like, fuck this, we're going to just fight this mano-a-mano. And then so Negan's doing his shit.
Negan beats the shit out of him.
Well, not really. I mean, he does. He breaks his fucking leg, but then Rick catches him off guard and cuts his throat. And then of course, that leads... What would piss me off is if they kill Negan off, because Negan is still a huge character in the comic.
Well, yeah, but so was Andrea.
Yeah, but Negan's way better than Andrea.
Andrea says big.
Yeah, but
so you may not like it, but they killed Andrea, and that was if they kill Andrea, they can kill Negan.
They can, which would be stupid because some of the best
I
writing.
think it's gonna look like they kill Negan, and that's what I said the last episode. It's gonna hit Rick going down the stairs.
Well, no, I think the last episode would be them fighting this.
The last scene is him going downstairs and talking to Negan.
I don't know. We'll agree to disagree with that because I don't think that's what's going to happen. That's really a huge time jump.
This is what this podcast is for.
Yep. All right. Well, that's the end of this episode. We'll talk more about more Walking Dead later.
More in like mid-season finale. I think it was gonna be bring it back up.
Yeah.
And next week we're gonna see Thor. It's gonna come out, so we're probably gonna post this episode with Thor. So check that out after this. And follow us at Two Ordinary Nerds on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram.
If you would download us on Podbean, we're also on Google Play, iTunes, YouTube. Yeah,
and if you need reviews, talk to your mom. She loves us.
Forget
Grindr. We're always on it. Swipe left.
All right. Cheers.
Cheers. All right.